Welcome to Dial Headlines. I'm Wendy Chen. Thank you for joining us. Indonesia Tzu Chi volunteers begin relief work survivors of the July 2nd earthquake. We learn how the new Industry-University cooperation system gives students a smooth entry to the workforce. And in Taiwan, the 2013 Tzu Chi Community Training Seminar takes place in Hualien with 316 students taking part. First up in Indonesia, on July 2nd, a 6.1 magnitude earthquake struck Aceh, killing some 39 people and leaving more than 50,000 homeless. To help, local Tzu Chi volunteers arrived at central Aceh with rice and daily necessities in hopes of helping quake survivors through this difficult time.
Early in the morning, Indonesia Tzu Chi volunteers load relief items onto trucks as they get ready for an aid distribution in central Aceh. Despite the 11-hour drive from Medan to Aceh, Tzu Chi volunteers insist on personally delivering the aid supplies to quake survivors. In the aftermath of the strong quake, many buildings and roads in central Aceh were damaged.
The destruction caused by the earthquake was unbearable. We have already gathered all the wounded residents here, and doctors and nurses are here to help. Those that suffered from more serious injuries were sent to the hospital.
Many people were wounded after the strong quake. Right now, some residents are having diarrhea and a hard time breathing.
In the aftermath of the strong quake, many people lost their homes and families. Many say that they don't know how to move on with their lives.
Currently, I am living in the temporary tent area with my grandson. I don't know where my children are. The situation right now is chaotic.
To comfort the victims and make sure they don't have to sleep on empty stomachs, Tzu Chi volunteers handed out rice and daily necessities.
I want to thank Tzu Chi on behalf of my family. I hope all of us can face this disaster with bravery. Thank you so much for all your help.
After the first aid distribution, we will organize another disaster survey to see what quake survivors need the most. We will have a meeting when we go back and see if we need to hold another relief distribution.
Although the road to recovery is still long, Tzu Chi volunteers promise to assist the disaster survivors along the way and help them restart their lives.
Staying in Indonesia, following the tremor, many local residents in Aceh are now homeless, including religious teacher Mahmudin and his family. As July 9th is the start of the month of fasting for Muslims, instead of living in despair, Mahmudin and his family quickly built a cottage so that they can carry on with their religious duties.
The recent tremor in Aceh province, Indonesia, destroyed Mahmudin's home. Although now homeless, he is grateful that his family members are all safe.
Back then, I was inside the mosque when the earthquake struck. I was praying with 20 housewives and 10 children. We were just about to open the Quran when we felt the tremor. My wife was at her sister's house cooking, and my son was the only person at home. Luckily, he was washing his car outside. I didn't think much when the disaster struck. I put my faith in Allah's hands.
As July is the month of fasting for Muslims, following the disaster, Mahmudin and his family built a cottage so the whole family could continue to fulfill their religious duties.
Dalam kesusahan kalau menuju Ramadan pun. Tapi kalau Ramadan itu perintah Allah harus kita kerjakan.
It is the month of fasting and we need to fulfill our religious duties. I hope Allah can protect us and grant us good health. Right now we can't even feed ourselves, so it is impossible for us to rebuild our home.
Although the family currently has no means of rebuilding their home, Mahmudin says they can overcome any obstacle as long as everyone works together. In front of the cottage, Mahmudin's daughter, who represented Aceh province at a recent dance competition, dances for her family as a way to lift spirits.
Taiwan Tzu Chi senior high school students and teachers, while on a trip to Malaysia, joined local Tzu Chi volunteers as they visited the indigenous tribe of Krog in Penang Island. Through seeing the less fortunate, the students realized how blessed they are and all vowed to spread the love forward.
Tainan Tzu Chi Senior High School students are on a trip to visit the indigenous tribe of Quake in Penang Island, Malaysia. Their school's principal was happy to see the efforts put forth by the students.
Here, our students can have a chance to learn how to show their care and love to the needy.
As the students join local volunteers in visits to indigenous families, they hand out biscuits they brought from Taiwan. Despite the language barrier, smiles bring everyone together, and the trip has taught these youngsters an invaluable lesson.
They don't have auto-flush toilets. They have to flush the toilet manually. They don't have doors in their bathrooms either. I feel we are much more fortunate.
After I go home, I will try my best to save electricity and water. I will also seize opportunities to help people like them who live in remote areas.
Seeing the less fortunate, Tainan Tzu Chi Senior High School students realize how blessed they are and vow to try their best to help more people in need.
In order to broaden students' horizons, Hualien Tzu Chi Elementary School organized its first ever overseas multicultural exchange program with its sister schools in Singapore and Malaysia. Besides sharing Tzu Chi's humanitarianism with their overseas counterparts, it is hoped that these students will also learn how volunteers in Singapore and Malaysia spread Tzu Chi's goodness and compassion abroad.
Whether it is the art of tea ceremony or Tzu Chi Sign Language, Hualien Tzu Chi Elementary School students are preparing themselves for their overseas exchange.
We want them to have this experience because in order to attain wisdom, it's not enough to merely read books. One must be well-traveled as well. So this is an invaluable opportunity. We want to design a suitable curriculum for our students.
As representatives of the school, the training prior to departure cannot be taken lightly. Seizing the time they have left to practice, these students hope to put their best foot forward.
Apart from wanting to see our friends on this exchange, I also want to get to know their culture and way of life. I've always traveled with my parents. This time we're going with our classmates and we get to prepare everything ourselves.
The first step to maturity is to practice independence before one can travel across countries to broaden horizons.
Through this exchange, our students will have the opportunity to interact with schools abroad and learn about their culture. Most importantly, they will learn about how Tzu Chi volunteers there cultivate Tzu Chi's missions.
Unable to hide their anticipation and excitement, these students are ready to embark on a new journey.
Securing a good job upon graduation is a dream come true for many students. To ensure the transition is a smooth one for graduates, educational institutes have over the years collaborated with the business sector to give the students the opportunity of accumulating work experience before they graduate. And the so-called Industry-University Cooperation System has enabled students to quickly adapt to the workforce upon graduation. In today's report, we visit a restaurant to see what 3 trainee students have learned by participating in the system.
There's a specific way to hold a water jug like this, then your hands won't get tired.
Quickly wiping each glass with diligence and care, it is difficult to imagine Ling Sen-yi is only an intern who is about to graduate with a leisure management degree.
When a customer comes in, we need to serve them and get them seated, then introduce our menu and how they can order their meals. We need to be flexible with what we have learned.
Thanks to the Industry-University Cooperation System, Ling has been given the opportunity to work in this restaurant for 6 months and prepare himself for his eventual entry into the workforce.
Some businesses are working with our school to provide job opportunities in various fields, as well as assist and ready the students to enter the workforce smoothly.
The collaboration between educational institute and businesses allows students to enter their relative industry as an intern and familiarize themselves with the demands of the workplace. Yuda University is one example.
The cooperation between the business sector and the educational institutes has become a new trend. The work training provided by technical colleges helps ready students for when they enter the workforce.
However, having students building a solid foundation at school will also determine their ability to adapt to a changing working environment.
今天教各位的呢，餐饮服务教学，我们就请来帅哥，你来试试看，好不好？
Rather than teaching theory, technical colleges place an emphasis on practical work experience, thus increasing their students' competitiveness when applying for jobs.
很多的老板都跟我们说。
Many business owners tell us that they can't find suitable staff not because graduates are not qualified. They all have master's or PhD degrees, but because the students cannot adapt to the work fast enough. Technical colleges are preparing their students to become the people whom companies are looking for.
To be able to adapt to the workforce right away not only requires one to have practical experience, but also a good working attitude. Lin Guolong, another trainee at the restaurant, says he's learning a valuable lesson in his work.
Working here is different than being at school. Whatever others tell us, we need to take it to heart and work hard. Attitude-wise, we need to pay attention to details and learn to be resilient and patient.
For Zhang Aimei, who is in charge of ticket sales, it is through such work experience that she has found a sense of confidence and the courage to face her future.
I am more of an introvert and a shy person. Through intern work like this, I have found courage and strength. I think I won't be as frightened when I enter the workforce.
The Industry-University cooperation system gives students a smooth ride into the next stage of their lives and also shows them that determination and hard work is required to become a shining star in any industry. In Taiwan, over the past 26 years, the Good Shepherd Social Welfare Services has been on the front line tending to children who were victims of domestic violence, sexual abuse and abandonment. To better help these traumatized children, the organization finds suitable foster families for relocation and thus giving them an opportunity to be surrounded by family love once again. Recently, the organization established a love relay campaign, inviting local businesses and members of the public to join in the work of caring for these youngsters.
From their interaction, one can sense their love for one another. A few years ago, Li Ping adopted 2 kids. Although a foster mother, she gives them love no less than biological parents.
Whether at home or relatives' house, both kids can feel our love. Although we are not their biological parents, we treat them with the same love.
Over the past 26 years, the Good Shepherd Social Welfare Services has helped find more than 5,000 foster families to shelter traumatized children.
Children who were victims of domestic violence and sex abuse were those who witnessed violence are in urgent need of foster families.
We hope the campaign of Love Relay will inspire more people to join our cause.
In the recent years, there are more and more traumatized children who need society's care, providing them with a safe haven where they can grow up without worries.
Also in Taiwan, but moving to Zhunan, the special education class at Zaonan Elementary School offers an education to students who are mentally challenged. Once a week, city volunteers will visit the class to bring these students extra love, attention, and care. Although it took a while for the children to open up to the volunteers love eventually won them over.
A hug from one of these students is a big step forward for them. Many of them have become much more willing to express themselves following the weekly Tzu Chi visits.
Some of the less emotionally stable have become more stable, and those that showed a lack of confidence seem to have more confidence now. In fact, they will often ask me when the volunteers will visit.
我们在看孩子第一次、第二次，他们的那个都不一样。
From our first visit to our second visit, the children's reaction is not the same. Some of them refused to even acknowledge us in the beginning, but after several visits, I heard them finally call me auntie. It really gave me so much hope.
Volunteers now see that as long as there is love and patience, there will be growth. This, more than anything, is what keeps the volunteers motivated and working on behalf of others.
感恩小菩萨。
The 2013 Tzu Chi Committee Training Seminar kicked off in Hualien this week, with 316 Tzu Chi trainees from all around Taiwan taking part. The students who will become community members of the Tzu Chi Club in their schools all promise to take this valuable experience back home with them to recruit more young people to join the Buddhist NGO.
Soaking kilts under the sun, Tzu Chings make their time count as they finalize all preparations before the start of the Tzu Ching training seminar. The Tzu Chi Collegiate Youth Association anthem, performed by the Tzu Chings, reflects the humanistic qualities of the group. Of the 316 trainees, 266 stayed on from the previous camp to attend this 4-day training seminar.
I want to hold on to this inspiration. I encountered many problems in my first year of joining the Tzu Chi Club. I hope this training seminar will help me find ways to overcome them.
Through the lessons and sharing, senior Tzu Chings hope to pass down their experience so that the younger peers may have a sense of mission and to hold on to their aspiration to make society a better place.
I hope these newly joined Tzu Chings will use what has been given to them here in their schools.
Spending their summer holidays in a meaningful way, volunteers hope that the seminar will equip these Tzu Chings with the passion and skills to recruit more youths to join their ranks.
A group of high school students from the United States applied for a short-term exchange program through the Taiwan Youth International Association to teach English to high school students in New Taipei City's Shuangxi district. The 2-day English summer camp reaped much award for the Taiwanese students. Through dialogue and drama, the students discovered that face-to-face communication is the best way to improve their English abilities.
Hand it over.
I learned to
Give it to me.
A group of high school student volunteers from Utah, United States, joined in a short skit with Taiwanese high school students. Using regressive effects with analog film interpretation, the play has the audience baffled yet entertained.
I battled with dialogue in the beginning, but it felt good by the time it was over.
Blonde hair, blue eyes, these students are spending their summer vacation in a meaningful way, teaching English to high school students in New Taipei City's Shuangxi district, and also getting a feel of what Taiwan's traditional culture is all about.
It's also for us to get to make new friends and for us to get to know the Chinese culture. Taiwanese culture is amazing, and I just think it's so beautiful.
As children of the East meet those from the West, the 2-day English summer camp broke all cultural and language barriers. Thanks to these new friendships, the Taiwanese students say their English abilities are now one step closer to perfection.
Do you feel like you're overweight? According to recent surveys, Taiwan's 22 to 27-year-olds have the habit of overeating and drinking as a way to deal with stress. Over 48% of them have BMI numbers that could be considered overweight, while 20% of them could be considered obese. Here's more.
In Taiwan, working from morning to night, employees often relieve their stress by going out for a bite to eat after work. However, not only is this bad for one's health, but it also adds to one's waistline.
There are 4 dietary categories of weight gain: oily vegetarian group, excessive starch group, sugar loading group, and carnivorous group. Over 45% of people in Taiwan are overweight or obese. In males, it's 60%. In females, it's 40%. A hidden weight gain item is the cold drinks we have during the summer.
Mr. Kong, who weighs over 100 kilograms, is often busy during the day working as a mover and has no time to eat a proper meal. And when he does eat, the amount is quite large.
After I finish my meal around 1 or 2 in the morning, I will go to bed. I only eat one meal a day and not much more than normal people. Why am I still like this?
Not eating at the right times and going to bed late, it's no wonder that Mr. Kong's weight continues to rise. Meanwhile, others have the willpower to be skinny.
I got here by exercising. I go to the gym, do aerobics. I try to eat less and exercise more. It took me about 7 or 8 years, but I am now 50-some kilograms, so I feel proud of myself.
The stretch marks on her arms are an honor badge of Miss Zhu's determination. If a stressful work environment is getting you down, look to exercising as a way to relieve your tension, as eating then dieting can be harmful to your health.
When receiving dialysis treatment, most patients will either sleep or read the newspaper. However, the 4-hour treatment can lead to muscle cramps in short term as well as muscle loss in long term. To address this problem, the medical staff at the Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital Dialysis Center came up with a series of exercises that dialysis patients can do as they are getting treatment. The exercises have shown to be effective, with both patients and doctors more than pleased with the results.
Because they need to lay down for several hours, their hands and feet sometimes go numb or their joints will stiffen up. With these exercises, however, they can keep their body relaxed.
When receiving dialysis, patients need to remain lying down for 4 hours straight, which can lead to muscle cramps and muscle loss. To address the problem, nursing staff at the Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital came up with a series of exercises that can keep dialysis patients healthy and are simple to learn.
The nursing staff really makes these patients the center of their life. They are always thinking about how to better care for them.
In addition to maintaining muscle mass, the exercises also keep the patient's blood pressure at normal levels.
They include some stretching and some light movement. They have been shown to be beneficial in preventing falls as a result of low blood pressure.
They have been great. Before lying down for half an hour, I would get cramps. But with these exercises, I don't get cramps and my blood pressure doesn't drop so low. My body feels stronger as well.
Despite the early success, medical staff will continue to refine and revise the exercises so as to find a combination that best protects the health of their patients.
The Taiwan Fund for Children and Families recently established a program to invite restaurants to provide 10 free meals each day to those in need. Upon learning of the news, the owners of a noodle shop in Kaohsiung immediately signed up. The kind-hearted couple also hopes to inspire others in the same industry to join the good cause. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.